What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Yala, your thrice weekly podcast where we talk about the hottest news with a touch of what, Terrence?
Good old humor, man.
Good old humor, man.
Yeah.
It's been a humorous week.
Humorous, yeah. And we really tried to stay away from parliament and politics and all, but
Yeah, man.
we can't.
Yeah, I literally said the previous episode that this parliament seems like it's the gift that keeps on giving when it comes to content creation.
Yeah.
And the trend continues.
But this one's not parliament per se, but
True
it's people, members of parliament.
Members of parliament, correct.
Yeah.
Members of parliament. And I mean, it is a developing case, but I mean, we weren't even sure whether we were going to talk about it, but it's just all over.
Yeah, but can I just say I'm glad that we can finally stop talking about Coldplay or Taylor Swift for a while. Because I think that was what everyone was talking about like last week, right?
Really? Everyone?
Coldplay, Taylor Swift. At least in my circles. I don't know, your circles are very
about
serious.
What context?
Very serious literary.
What context?
Nothing about, do you manage to get tickets? No.
But it's just a passing thing. You all don't go deep dives into like how difficult it was to get.
No, my conversations, I do ask for people's opinions.
So it's you lah.
Yeah.
They are probably thinking, fuck lah, this Terrence, if he's not talking to us about politics, he's talking to us about Taylor Swift.
Or I'm listening to people talk about Taylor Swift.
Is it?
I'm not forcing my opinion down people's throats. This is interesting to talk about. I'm listening to them talk about Taylor Swift.
Is it? But they were talking about it because you brought it up lah.
I mean, I casually asked lah.
And
then I let them talk lah.
So this weekend you got your agenda items of things to ask your dinner mates already lah.
I mean, there's only one lah, right? There's only one thing everyone's talking about. And that's why we're here on a Friday.
Yeah, man.
Usually we don't we were not Friday is a tough one because we record this, by the time it comes out it's close to the weekend and all. Yeah. But today is a special one, so we had to right?
Yeah. We had to. I mean, it's a developing case. We're just going to go over what is out there in public info, what are hypothetical allegations.
Yeah.
But before that,
yes.
I also wanted to say that one thing that I'm a bit excited by is that one thing we spoke about in the podcast about Tan Chuan Jin's kerfuffle.
Oh yes, that's right.
And Indrani is going to address it in the next parliament.
She's going to throw foul.
Oh man, so are we going to go for the next parliament as well? Who knows, man?
That's the thing. When they say next parliament, I'm like, I don't even know the date or how long it's going to be.
I think besides June, I think they sit almost every month. I think
they're supposed to. Right?
Yeah, they're supposed to.
After the June holidays, then everyone gets back to work.
Yeah, and I've seen some people on our Reddit, even some friends saying they want to go for Parliament. And how amazing would it be if Parliament in the future at the galleries, there's waiting lines outside, no?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And then everyone, I got 3 times 20 cents because I heard it on Yalla But.
I got. Then you don't have, I go first. That'll be the requirement.
Maybe we should arbitrage outside. We change money outside the parliament.
Oh, yeah, that's
everyone coming. You need 320 cents? Okay, I have I don't know. You give me $1, I give you $1.
So go back to my Chettiar roots, is it? The money changer roots, is it?
Oh, I wasn't even going there, but if you want to bring it to race, I can't help you.
No,
there,
in your mind, it would have looked like I'll be doing the money changing, you'll be doing just the talking to people, right? You'll be like, this feels so natural. Yeah, Harish. Okay, you handle the money changer.
I never say anything.
It's your people, It's your people.
So Harish has suddenly made it about race again, which some people are making the current things happening about race also. But Harish is he's made it about race again. Everybody, you heard it here first.
Everyone and I mean, there is a racial issue, but I think we have to stop beating around the bush. We're going to get into the topic.
Yeah.
But before that, what is it that we want to say? Tell our listeners.
As always, if you listen to this on Spotify, right? There actually is a way to support us on Spotify other than also giving us thumbs up and ratings. It's actually to follow the podcast.
Yes, to follow.
And how does that work, Harish?
I think it's not just Spotify, it's any podcast player. If you click follow or subscribe, basically, depending on your settings, any new episode will be auto-downloaded on your phone. So if you leave your house and you are low on mobile data, but it would have been downloaded already using your house Wi-Fi. And you don't need to look for other podcasts and you can just listen to our podcast.
Yeah. So I'll give you a chance to say
the follow button.
Say like how a YouTuber would say it.
Please remember to hit that subscribe button. It really means a lot for the channel, or in this case, podcast. Thank you so much, and we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Can't comment.
For me, it was more Smash that follow button, yo.
Smash that follow button, yeah. Smash that follow button.
Yeah.
Can't leave a comment.
Yes.
But
Yes.
the topic in question is the huge news that first bubbled up. I believe it was. I mean, it started bubbling up internally, and externally, 6 July.
Yeah.
6 July, right?
6 July? No, it's that 6 July is a week ago.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
To the public, it came a bit later. It came a bit.
Yeah.
I think it started blowing up over the past few days.
Yes, the past few days.
Was it Wednesday?
Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, Tuesday, Wednesday. So 11, 12 July.
Yeah.
And it is a case that there is a current CPIB probe being carried out involving Minister Iswaran
Minister of Transport, right?
Minister of Transport Iswaran, and more recently the business tycoon, property tycoon Ong Beng Seng.
That's right.
So I mean, it's been everywhere, man. But what do you recall your first recollection of when this hit your radar?
I believe on Reddit, which is where I do read a lot of news and everything. Came out on Reddit, and quite a shock because I think Monday or Tuesday, was it where we recorded our podcast on Tuesday, right? And I think it was right after we recorded that podcast, and we also recorded a podcast with Sudhir, right, where we talked about what all the recent Rideout Road and fucking populist and all that, what all that means for the PAP government going forward lah. Then this came up, and so it was just like, whoa, the timing was perfect lah, you know. Yeah. That's how I remember it lah. Yeah.
I think one of my friends sent it to me also on Tuesday.
Okay.
And I think the thing that really made it serious was that Iswaran has been put on has taken a leave of absence.
Yeah.
Which means that he cannot fulfill his duties of Minister of Transport anymore.
Yep.
And his deputy has taken charge lah.
Chi Hong Tat.
Yeah. And apparently like a pretty young guy. So for him, he's like, oh, fast promotion. But I mean, the exact timeline that came to light was that on 5th July itself, the director of CPIB approached PM Lee and told him that there is this investigation going on. And as part of the investigation, Minister Iswaran needs to be interviewed.
Yes.
And then PM Lee gave his concurrence on 6th July. The formal investigation began on 11th July. And that was when news was made public.
Yeah.
That Iswaran is assisting the CPIB. But he has been instructed by Lee Hsien Loong.
Yeah.
Not on his own, instructed to take a leave of absence.
Yes, that's right.
And then Lawrence Wong also came out and said something on Wednesday. Many are concerned. He addressed some questions. He had a doorstop interview.
Is it doorstop or doorstep? Doorstep. Because
doorstop interview is like they want to close, then Lawrence was like, wait, guys.
I want to talk.
I have something to say.
I want to stop the door and talk.
Correct.
Doorstep.
Big difference.
Doorstep makes sense because you come out from your doorstep, then you just need to talk.
Doorstop is like the reporters are like, oh my God, Lawrence, we heard so much already. Don't close it. Okay, doorstep.
Doorstep.
Okay, doorstep. So he had an interview, and like we can dive into the answers also. But I think the thing is less than around a week-ish since that whole Rideout saga.
Yes.
Right. And we've already been through the process of investigation being done.
By CPIB some more.
By CPIB. So even CPIB is like, fuck man, June we were couldn't travel because of that, and now this. And this has probably been going on for a while already lah.
Yeah. Apparently, I mean, what they said that it was CPIB, Lawrence Wong clarified as well, right? The CPIB was investigating something else, and this came up, and so they're jumping right into it lah. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, those are everything. Those are the facts that have been laid out lah, and honestly, not that many lah, right?
Yeah.
I think today itself there was a announcement by Hotel Properties Limited that of which Ong Beng Seng is the managing director lah, right?
And co-founder
that I think they filed the SGX 7:30 AM. All the information that he is assisting the police with investigations, right? Yeah. And has been released on bail as well, right? And allowed to travel. Yeah. For work or whatever. So that's out there in the public. That's all we know. But there's obviously on the world of WhatsApp, right? Of which you are one of the titans of WhatsApp.
Is it?
The usage of WhatsApp. I've seen you use WhatsApp in ways that I cannot imagine have been before. Huh?
Like how?
Just in terms of like, I mean, it's because I skipped the whole online dating Tinder phase, right? And I know that there's a whole protocol when it comes to moving from Tinder to WhatsApp, and then from WhatsApp you got to like move on to physical dates and everything. So I really missed that whole era lah, as in that whole like using apps and then progressing from one app to another.
Jumping platforms.
Yeah. So I think you are, in some ways, you mastered that, right? Because of your extensive experience in that space.
But where have you seen? I'm not dating you.
No. But then, so I see the way that you managed to use WhatsApp to coordinate schedules with people, or send messages to console them about getting rejected for this and that. I literally have asked you that, right?
I sent you screenshots yesterday.
Yeah, I was like, hey, all these rejection messages. Can you send me how you do it? Okay, because it matters in terms of like even the cadence of what you send. I think matters as well.
It does. And to clarify, it's not rejection of like seductive advances. No, it's for gigs or opportunities or something like.
And
or auditions.
Or pester people to reply you and things like that, without sounding like douche.
Correct. Oh, so you meant that in a complimentary way lah.
Absolutely.
I thought you were saying like don't know what kind of fuck emojis all I send and all.
Oh yeah. Okay, there is the emoji element as well. I look at it, I cringe, but I'm like, okay, it does make it feel less.
Yes, it does. It's an
adversarial.
Art
yeah. So the art of emoji lah. I think that's what I meant. So it is a compliment.
Okay.
Yeah. Don't get sensitive, man.
Yeah. No, and I think it doesn't. The fact is also we probably are in like 160 different WhatsApp groups.
Yeah.
You know when you can click how many groups you have in common.
Oh yeah.
I think it's probably.
I didn't even know you could do that, but okay.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. But going back to what you were saying, there are a lot of things floating around which we can touch on. Of course, very speculative, but I'm guessing like Ong Beng Seng is surprisingly not super well known.
Oh, what do you mean by
like? Okay, you hear people like, I don't know, Tan Ming Liang or Anthony Tan.
Yeah.
All these billionaires, right?
Yeah.
Ong Beng Seng, like I've been surprised by how many people don't really know who he is.
Oh yeah.
And so I just like some brief background.
Sure.
He was born in Malaysia. And over the years, he's gotten to be one of the most wealthy people in Singapore. And he's the co-founder and the MD of Hotel Properties. And they own like 4 Seasons and they own a bunch of properties around the world. And he is also the person who owns the distribution rights for F1 in Singapore. And to just show how long he's been in the business, right? His company is called Hotel Properties Limited. Probably he set it up at a time when naming your company, you didn't even have to think about anything innovative.
Yeah.
Hotel Properties Limited.
It's like as if you tried to get your Instagram handle to be at hotels.
Yeah, that's right.
That's equivalent.
Like, fuck, man. Like, there's no thought at all. It's like if we started this podcast and we just call it podcast.
Yeah. The podcast.
Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's been in it for a while. And yeah, so what it seems to be, of course, this is all speculation.
Yeah.
Alleged speculation.
Yeah.
Is because Iswaran also was very instrumental in bringing F1 to Singapore.
Yeah.
There was some sort of like things happening there that has caused this lah.
Correct.
I don't know how much we can share or we should share because they're all speculative.
Yeah. No, I think that it's very important to let the investigation run its course, right?
Yeah.
And let the facts come out before we speculate lah.
Yeah.
So that's where we are here today to kind of just say what are people actually speculating about that is out there lah, right?
Yeah.
That a lot of it, I think people really shouldn't be speculating lah, but because everyone is talking about it, it's kind of like, okay, I mean, we can look at what the people are saying.
Maybe the broad level.
Yeah,
like,
the broad level. We don't have to go into details.
Specifics. So basically one theme is like the abuse of privilege.
Okay.
Or abuse of access or something like.
Okay.
As being part of the like being so close to the organization of this, you might have access to certain things.
Yeah.
And what I know about the civil service in Singapore is there's a very, very strict law about what you take from people you have commercial dealings with.
Okay.
I've heard anecdotes that even like buying coffee for someone can be seen as like a bribe lah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it seems, or there's talk that there was that sort of abuse happening lah.
Correct. So I mean, as Iswaran is the Minister of Transport, right?
Yeah.
So what the hell does the Minister of Transport have to do with F1? that would, like arise some kind of, there will be a situation that arises of some kind of potential, like what you said, scandal or corruption kind of allegation.
It definitely involved in the organization because a lot of roads have to be closed down, right?
Yes.
Or shut, right?
Yes.
So definitely he would be intricately involved.
Yeah.
Right, which means that it is a negotiation again,
Yeah, but I think more important than that, in the last few years, right? At least, especially during COVID and prior to that as well. Even we've had multiple podcasts talking about should F1 be extended, right? And there were a lot of long negotiations going on. And what happened at the end was that I think in 2022, was it? That F1 race was extended for the longest period ever, 7 years, right? Longest extension that we've seen. And from what I understand, it's 40% will be paid for by Singapore GP, which is Ong Beng Seng runs that, right? The other 60% is picked up by Singapore Tourism Board. So basically it's the Singapore government and everything. So, and we're talking about 135 million or something like that in terms of the contract size or what? Yeah, so that's the kind of numbers that we're dealing with. And at the announcement of the extension, the person who gave the speech on behalf of the Singapore government was Mr. Iswaran himself. Yeah, he's in the press release and everything. So from broad level, I think you can quite clearly see that S. Iswaran was very instrumental in the contract negotiations to extend F1 and bring F1 back to Singapore and all that, right? So that piece is out there. And what we're seeing are those that, Iswaran, Ong Beng Seng, all related to those pieces seems to be coming forward, right? In terms of it, we know that these people are involved in the probe. But what else on a high level are you hearing about all this going on now?
I mean, the fact that even Ong Beng Seng, he got an issue of arrest, right? He's been put on bail.
Yeah.
He did say he's traveling from 14th July to end of July.
Yeah.
But after that, he will surrender his passport to CPIB.
Yeah.
So I don't know whether in the world of billionaires,
these
sort of things are just minor hiccups. Like, hey, bro, you cannot by your country investigation.
First time.
Then they clink their glasses and all this kind of shit. Because 100K for a billionaire, I mean, yeah, it's significant, but not super significant.
Yeah.
So it feels like, okay, but at a high level, one thing that does feel like this is a lot more grave than the Ride Out saga.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that was one thing. Even like Lawrence Wong was very clearly demarcated.
Yeah.
One thing was that the Ride Out was more instigated by public perception. It was called for and it yielded nothing.
And the ministers asked to be investigated. Supposedly, they asked the PM to investigate it themselves,
correct.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, and in this case, it was an internal probe that floated up.
And that came to light. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like Iswaran put on an leave of absence, which apparently hasn't happened for 40 years.
A leave of absence?
By a minister under investigation.
Okay. Yeah.
And the last time was back in the 80s when someone was found guilty of taking $1 million of bribes.
Lee Kuan Yew.
Under Lee Kuan Yew, yeah.
And that ended quite, that story ended quite sadly also, right? He committed suicide, right?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, so I mean, that's why it feels like it's a different situation.
Yeah.
But at a high level, again, it looks like, wow, fuck, it's one after another, in the public perception of like the incumbent.
Yeah. And I think the thing is, because the CPIB probe and everything was literally just came out last week, right? Out like last 2 weeks. The public has inevitably seeing the differences between the two. Like one, I mean, like Shanmugam and Balakrishnan were not put on leaves of absence straight away.
Yeah, phone not confiscated.
Phone not confiscated. As
passport also, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, travel, whatever. I mean, Shanmugam is still happily traveling and everything, right?
Yeah.
But it seems like Iswaran is not being allowed to travel either. Yeah. And I don't know how that works in terms of like not allowing him to travel, but maybe, I don't know whether it's the CPIB has put forward that it's not, bail is not allowed or whatever. But yeah, the optics of it are pretty damning, I must say. Like the fact that the government itself is saying, no, you can't access government buildings, you can't come to work, you can't do your job. you stay put until your investigation is over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not to say he's guilty.
Yeah.
That's to say the investigations are
Ongoing.
and they are serious enough such that people are doing that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you also heard of the super strict mantras for the civil servants to not accept even like coffee or gift?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think it's there's a very, very big the code of conduct is very strict in that sense, like in terms of even a free coffee or drink or meal.
Yeah.
$5, $10. Do you want hawker center, food court or restaurant? Any of those also
Must declare.
Must declare. Or decline. Yeah, declare or decline, right?
Yeah.
I think it's very clear that these can arise to, can lead to conflicts of interest that are not favorable. And in this one, it looks, given the, Iswaran's position in these very, very large contracts and negotiations, and the people that are now being questioned as well alongside, it seems to be pointing towards that whole F1 related issue, right? Yeah. So, there's a lot of stuff floating around, and as always, I think everyone take it with a pinch of salt. Remember all that stuff floating around about Shanmugam's son somehow being involved, and then turned out it was just all hogwash, right?
Yeah.
And there are other names also being floated around in relation to this right now. Also,
the abusing of privilege, right?
Abusing of privilege and somehow being related somewhat. So there's a lot of stuff floating around, but take it all with a huge bucket of salt, right? And I think I guess let CPIB do its work. But what do you think about Lawrence Wong's statement that this proves that that Singapore system works, that we do root out corruption and we're not afraid to call them out when things happen?
It's the only thing he can say. What else can he say? This looks horrible for the PAP. One right after another. So when he said it, I did feel a part of me like, ugh. But then it's hard to take it just as, okay, that's the honest truth, because what else can they say? If there's shit floating up, you just say, I take the constipation very, very seriously. I never want to put aside my stomach difficulties and all. You won't say I just shat over the carpet. You can't say that, right?
Yeah. It kind of reminded me of the, when the crypto winter first started happening. And then I think some people in the crypto space were like, this is good. It's weeding out all the bad players in crypto, those that cannot make it, all that. It means that all the people who are left behind are the best, So, I was like, okay.
But it's also, he can't say anything else because of the circumstance, but also he is going to be the next PM, right?
Yes,
if nothing changes drastically.
Yeah.
So he also needs to make his case for his style of leadership, and making it very clear that this is something they will never tolerate. But then I can't help but feel, you're only saying that because you got caught,
Yeah.
I guess I think public sentiment, which is why it's so important how this case pans out, how the government treats it, because public confidence is being hit,
for sure.
And already we saw with on a much smaller scale earlier this week when Tan Chuan Jin said that fucking populist comment, it was because someone caught him.
Yeah.
Then Zali apologized.
Yeah.
With Ride Out is because there was a blog post. Then suddenly got investigation. So this one also, it feels like, it's good that you got caught, but how much other shit is happening?
Yes. And I think maybe it was just a little bit preliminary for Lawrence Wong to be patting himself on the back or patting his government on the back, because we still don't know.
It's prelim, is it?
Because we don't even know what is going on, right? He himself said that it's all, don't speculate, all that thing. But then straight away he said that, this shows that we don't take we take corruption, but we don't even know what it is exactly and what the allegations are, right? So a bit premature to be praising oneself for that, right? But I did also think that the fact that Lee Hsien Loong came forward and Lawrence Wong came forward, all that, and they seem to be trying to nip it in the bud a bit, seize the narrative a bit. I would hope that it would have come with more details of what the allegations are, because inevitably people will speculate, right? Like what happened in Ride Out, and unfortunately Shanmugam's family being dragged in and all that. I think we talked about it, where why wait until Parliament sitting to talk about it? It should really be press conference or the PM himself coming forward and saying and putting it out there, right?
Actually, that's an interesting point because Iswaran has been very vocal on certain policies that has been widely debated. For example, I know for any issues relating to Sika, he was always jousting with Leong Man Wai and all that, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I have seen rumors related to that floating also. Actually what you said is true. If you don't provide enough context, people will talk.
Yeah.
People will fucking talk. And then it becomes a thing, you can take everything with a bucket of salt. But sometimes it's like, walao, like you start joining the dots, then you're like, oh, is this true? As much as they cleared Shanmugam's son of any allegations, it still
just hangs over it.
There's a little bit like, oh, that's a bit. It's like, okay, it's proven wrong, but is it really not true or something like that?
So in this kind of situations, I feel like the more transparency, the better, rather than be seen as like reacting to. Oh, now now literally on the article about Ong Beng Seng this morning, there's a photo of him. There's a photo of him leaving CPIB. On I think it was on Wednesday. There's a photo of him by Lian He Zhao Pao leaving CPIB, getting into a van.
Oh shit, that's Ong Beng Seng
carrying a little bag, getting into a van. So there's a photo of him leaving CPIB after cooperating investigations, right? So literally on one of my WhatsApp groups, someone was forwarding that photo around, and then people were like, oh, is that him trying to abscond Singapore and leave Singapore? Why is he carrying so little things if he's trying to leave Singapore? Then people are like, oh, because he's billionaire, he's got everything everywhere, so he doesn't need to bring anything leaving Singapore. Like, guys, no. That's him leaving the CPIB office, right?
Oh, shit.
So, but that's what I mean when, like, there isn't that, that, like, rush to seize the narrative a little bit, even if though, yes, investigations are going on, but the CPIB reports to you as the Prime Minister, so you have the prerogative to decide what to put out there also, I think. And if you don't seize the narrative, people are going to take the narrative that way and they're going to run with it in their WhatsApp groups, and the 160 WhatsApp groups that we have open people are going to be like just sending all these things out. And even just small thing like, is he absconding the country versus just a photo of him leaving the CPIB? It's a big difference, and people are not going to fact check to whatever level that you and I are even trying to, right?
And some of this is not even taking into account like the threat of AI.
Yeah.
When there's a vacuum to be filled, people will fill it.
Yeah.
So I guess probably, I can understand the process saying that, during investigation, we can't make any info public. You all just wait for the investigation.
Yeah.
But that feels like that's not the world we live in.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And just looking at the things on Reddit, there's a lot of speculation about what it could be and all that. And then because Iswaran is the Minister of Transport and LTA and all that under him, and don't say F1 right? But probably LTA contracts with everything, everybody, whether it's people in the rail sector or the vehicles, whoever sells vehicles, all that. Everyone's starting to question, is that related to the whole thing, right? So it's just like, it just hang in the air, And then someone did ask me today, does that mean F1 will be cancelled? So I was like, whoa, I don't know, man. I don't know.
I can't imagine it being cancelled, right?
But you think about it, if let's say the allegations are somewhat true, there's something related to F1. Like what you said about the ride-out thing, there's this air hanging over it, right? Regardless of whatever was clarified. Now then, as F1 carries on and people are seeing the rich elites running with Singapore and living in up VIP suites and everything, but there's this air of, was it a corrupt process that got this F1 here and everything? Don't you feel like it'll affect the...
I don't think people will care.
Which people won't care?
The people who... Because, F1 September, they'll just maybe get a bigger concert act. Suddenly they say, Taylor Swift go to perform F1.
Okay.
And people thank you, Iswaran. Thank you, Iswaran. Thank you.
I took one for the team so you all could get Taylor Swift.
I personally Facebook DM Taylor Swift and told her, you need to come to F1 for my countrymen. Wow, people fucking West Coast GRC win against.
Yeah, Chan Chun Sing declare public holiday
that's why.
for whole of Singapore.
Yeah. Why you think maybe that's the strategy for bringing all these concerts here? Soon, Coldplay will be like pulling ministers up on stage and all that.
So here's the test: who's performing F1?
I have no idea.
because the acts aren't that great.
Or maybe isn't it as a surprise act? That can be a surprise act.
There could be, but as far as I know now,
It's not big names.
Is Robbie Williams, retro act for sure. Post Malone, big,
Post
but
Malone not bad.
but
niche.
not bad lah. It's not Taylor Swift.
Yeah, not Beyonce.
You're not selling out 6 concerts at
Not
National
Beyonce,
Stadium
yeah,
for
not
sure.
Beyonce.
Yeah, so right now still a bit.
They're holding their trump card lah. They're like, okay, just hold back. Who's the biggest? Who will be a big star now? Hold back Ed Sheeran. Hold back. Hold back. We finished this investigation.
Maybe the press conference will be long. Will be like, before we talk about CPIB thing, I just want to announce that Taylor Swift will be having a 7th concert
as part of the F1.
All right, and now I will feel questions. Please.
Yeah, 7th concert for the 7-year contract. It makes perfect sense. Now on to the investigation.
Yeah.
No, but like on a high level, there's a lot of allegations. On a high level, it doesn't look good for PAP. But I'm also thinking, it doesn't look good for Indian ministers, no.
Oh,
I know what you're going to say. It's going to raise thing, but it's like, walao, like probably Tharman is also like, guys, why? I literally haven't really stepped away from Parliament, and all this is going to happen.
Yeah.
Why, guys? Why? Now left is like probably amongst the more prominent ones is in Indrani, I think.
You talking about the prominent what?
Indian ministers.
Oh, Indian ministers.
Not to say that I'm like, I support all the Indian ministers, but I've also heard that through the grapevine. That I know when Ride Out became an issue, there were some sentiments towards, how come like there are these people of these ethnicities having such big houses, which I think is fucked up.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I haven't seen too much here. Maybe I'm the one is like starting the flame.
I think so.
Fuck, shit.
Yeah. So in my circles, there's not been a discussion about the.
Oh, is it?
race.
I mean, my circles, to be honest, also no lah.
Yeah. So it's you lah.
Wait, no. My circle got one. Got a few.
Okay.
Your circles probably got Indian people or not? Got Indian people or not?
Oh God, yeah.
You sure or not?
Have, for sure.
In your WhatsApp groups?
Yes, for sure.
Is it?
It's not come up as a race issue for me at all, as a Chinese person.
I mean, I think it's more come up just as like a light-hearted comment.
Yes.
By Indian people lah.
Yeah.
Because I know like it's hard for non-Indian to say this lah.
Yeah, and don't want to be caught on WhatsApp saying
correct.
Right? But so I mean, do you feel a tinge of sadness or anything when you read this news about Iswaran?
No.
Why?
I feel a tinge of sadness about what this is, how this might impact politics in Singapore.
Oh.
Because I feel it is, how you say, like it is affecting public confidence in the government. Which, regardless of your sentiment towards the PAP, WP, I don't think it's ever a good situation where more and more citizens are questioning the leadership. You can question constructively, but when you start suspecting them of like nefarious shit or corruption, it's just that is what is fucking worrying. And it's worrying every week. Every week, there's like, all right, what's the new fuck up this week?
Yeah.
Does it make you sad?
No, but someone did say something today, semi in jest, but it made me like, whoa. Maybe the next thing they'll table is that we need to increase minister salaries to enhance their incorruptibility. And at first I was like, then I was like, wait a second, that kind of like, it sounds like something plausible because what are we saying now? Is saying that ministers don't earn enough, that's why they have to resort to these kind of things.
Can you imagine there was a committee set up to invest after the findings, with incidents such as Shanmugam having to sell his GCB
and dipping into his private savings to pay for his rent
and publicly saying that it's his lawyer salary
savings,
that is paying for his home. And like Vivian Balakrishnan having to move 3 families into one house, 3 generations into one house. And this alleged abuse of privilege. I think
it shows you that ministers are not earning enough. That's why
they are also being squeezed, by the economy.
That's why we need to pay them. So I know we laugh about it, but it did really make me think, is there that possibility this could be brought up? That they are not earning enough, that they, what's the term that someone say, they lose face or they cannot, no dignity when talking to Bernie Ecclestone.
You really think that might be that could you in your world that is a remote possibility? Yeah.
I mean, last week in my world, I thought there's no possibility that someone would just like mouth off fucking populist into a hot mic. That sound like you'd be an idiot to do that.
But there's like one person fucking up. If there's a mention of this, it has to be more than one person thinking that, which I think for me right now, it might just be, I know like at the start of COVID, I was like, Terrence, why you want to wear masks? How bad can this be? It'll never happen. Oh man. But I stand corrected.
No, I mean, post 2016, Trump and everything, could you have, before 2016, would you have ever imagined a world where the reality TV star became a president, of the United States? You never would have. I think the whole world was in shock in 2015 when the results came out and all, right? So, I mean, well, okay, that aside, I'm just saying that, all these things that we are hearing in jest and jokes, all that, there's always a possibility, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's quite a lot. I've seen a lot of funny things that people are posting around and all that. One funny thing I saw on Reddit was like people like PAP, probe after probe. Yeah. Well, have you heard anything funny that these things like that? Yeah.
I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I just saw one clip from a podcast that Iswaran appeared on.
Yes.
Previously.
Okay.
And that clip, I think the host was saying, you've been in many ministries, you've been in Ministry of Transport, Education, Development. And Iswaran literally says, you're just reminding me of all my past sins.
Oh.
Then I was like, oh, shit.
Wow.
That did not age well.
But again, allegedly, we don't know what sins.
Alleged. Correct. Alleged.
Yeah.
Alleged. That's the word of this episode. Alleged.
Yeah. So it'll be exciting to see. I guess there are people who will be going on Reddit and combing through Iswaran's old interviews and things like that, and seeing if he dropped any nuggets of anything interesting like that. Like how the fucking populist thing happened, right?
That is when it goes down. See, exactly. That sort of stuff just feels like there's a lot of spite and resentment and I totally understand the resentment. It's just sad that is reaching this state
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels like fuck, why again?
Yeah. So I mean, what is one thing that you hope that the government will do to help curb that sentiment in the next 1-2 months?
Be very, very transparent and very militant about this investigation. Disclose everything that can be disclosed and take action, like stern action, like very stern action. And maybe even like do a probe of like every, if there is speculation that is confirmed, make sure that there's a comb throughout like the entire government, like whatever that means.
Yeah. I think for me I think we need to call on the fucking Avengers again. MMTF Mark II, Multi-Ministry Task Force, come
Mark II.
Remember during the COVID how we had a press conference like every week or every other week at the very least. I think at this point like there's just so much shit going on. It's so unprecedented. There's so much speculation and uncertainty that it's not good for the government or even the political party, the PAP. I feel like they really need to learn from the ride out thing and not, behind the scenes try to carve out something. Like if there's something bad was done, they need to be more transparent than they need to be, right? Then what am I saying? They need to be go above and beyond in terms of transparency. So you tell me MMTF or every week we will give an update or something like that, give people some certainty of knowing what and when they'll hear the next piece of
So you think Lawrence Wong is like opening his cupboard at home with that table mic, that all of them had, and he's looking at it, he's like, is it time? No, it's not time.
And then everyone's stretching their neck because they have to turn left and the head turn during the MMTF, the press conference. And if anyone's wondering, we're referencing when every time a difficult question is asked, sometimes one of them will like turn and then ask the next person.
Yeah, I will let Minister Gan take this. Then they turn off their mic.
Turn off your mic, please. Please turn off your mic, man.
So all of them are just wherever they're hiding it, in their basement, taking out that mic. They're like, is it time?
Dusting it off.
Maybe after Ride Out, it was like, okay, it's still not time. But then after this, they're like, fuck it. Then Lawrence is like, guys.
Yeah. It's time.
Assemble.
MMTF, assemble.
Mark II, coming to you August 29th, 2023.
Yeah. I think seize the narrative a bit and be you want to talk about transparency, then walk the talk. Yeah.
Walao. This is, I mean, It's still developing. Probably we'll have to do another podcast about this at some point.
Yeah.
But just take everything with a pinch of salt.
Yes.
Just hope for the best. Hope for the best.
Yeah. Hope for the best.
But
yes.
pay attention, lah. Pay attention.
Yes. But yeah, you know.
Right.
I think if anyone like Lee Hsien Loong, PM Lee and all had a very rough time the last 1-2 months, like sort of babysitting the entire everything that's been happening right, in Parliament. And he's not the only one. I think a lot of our preschool teachers also, they have to work extra time on Saturdays and all that. But not for much longer. Because that is actually our next topic. Right?
I thought you were going to still carry on the topic on Terrence.
Oh, no. Moving on. That's the segue, yeah.
Okay, so there's an announcement made on 12th July by the Ministry of Social and Family Development, MSF, that childcare centres will no longer be required to operate on Saturdays from 2025.
That's next year.
Yeah, next year. Which means that early childhood educators can finally have a 5-day work week.
Yeah.
And this is off the bat of a survey that showed that 98% of families using the preschool services do not actually need them on Saturday.
That's right.
So I mean, the reason was because, I mean, teaching it still feels like a very undervalued profession in Singapore.
Yep.
Educators in general, and the sector. I mean, there are anecdotes about like teachers having to take turns to work full time on Saturday, even though they might not be fully compensated for it.
Yeah.
And it's a stretch lah. And I think a lot of teachers are feeling the sentiments of burnout and all.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not a parent. You are a parent.
Yeah.
What do you make of this whole announcement?
Yeah, I'm a parent. But in fact, this announcement was the first time I realized that, actually, some childcare centers have Saturday services lah. I was under the impression most of them were like 5 days only. And what I understand now is that, you can send the kid in from 7 to like 2 p.m. or something like that. A lot of these places. And so what I'm hearing from this announcement is that it's kind of that maybe previously it was mandated that childcare services need to be offered for 6 days a week. And now it's being reduced to 5. So it means that for people in the early childhood sector, it's a 5-day work week now, right? But if you can still offer 6 days, but it's probably you have to do it at a premium, like you would have to pay, whether it's pay the teachers more or get the parents to pay more or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm getting from it. And
actually, I think for enrollment starting from 2024 for 2025, Saturday childcare will not be available.
Oh, no.
I don't think they're making it optional as well.
Oh, it's not optional. Okay. So it is mandating some kind of...
Yeah, it's a whole industry.
Yeah, 5-day work week for childhood teachers.
Of course, it can be informal, just like how there's a 5-day work week for a lot of industries. You can still work on Saturday.
Yeah.
But it has to be a different arrangement.
Yeah, and that happened in our lifetime. I do remember that even my mum and all used to have to work half days on Saturdays when I was a kid, right? And then one day suddenly, magic! It just
I was in army when that happened.
Oh, you're in army? I was in school.
Great.
Why great?
Because like the first 6 months, every Saturday must go in for like 9 to 12.
Oh, you mean in army lah?
I was in army.
Oh shit!
And I had finished training already, so I was like doing the work week.
Yeah.
And every Saturday you go in, you're like, you go there, then like it's not long enough to really do work. Then it just becomes okay lah. This is damn sian. Then suddenly the next Saturday, don't it?
Yeah,
it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, actually now because it happened after I left the army already.
Yeah,
right?
it happened after. So that means you were studying.
Really? Was it really?
I distinctly remember or maybe that was when it was implemented in the army.
Because I'm thinking more like when I was a kid, like before I even went army.
Oh, no.
That institution of the 5-day work week in Singapore.
Or maybe there was, but army took a while.
Army possible, yeah.
But I distinctly remember the time when, like in the army, it went from 5.5 days to 5 days.
Yeah, I'm just checking. I'm not ignoring you, Harish. I'm just looking.
It's okay.
I'm just looking at my phone if we can find out when it started.
The tech is part of our lives, Terrence.
Yeah. But yeah. So, I do remember that distinct change happening in our youth and everything.
Yeah.
And overall, it was quite a big thing. Like you said, it happened in the army. So. And like, what did it mean for you to go from a 5.5 day work week to a 5-day work week?
It was an amazing change because suddenly the weekend like had this extra half day where you don't need to worry about anything.
Yeah.
And more importantly, Friday night, it was the start of the weekend already.
Yes.
Because previously, you still have to report to work the same time as Friday.
Yeah.
It just ends a bit earlier. La.
Yeah, correct.
So it was a huge change. La.
So do you think this would have given you more impetus to sign on to be an army regular and everything?
I would say actually it is okay, not so much of a like a huge pull factor, but it is a benefit. La.
It is, yeah.
And I do think it is a huge change going from 5.5 to 5 days from the perspective of an educator.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think from what I understand of early childhood teachers, they are very, very stretched. And it's quite shocking to me that, some of them would be mandated to come in on weekends as well, on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But yeah, to me, it's a positive, I would say, for that, we are pushing via institutions, pushing them towards helping the teachers balance work and life a little better, right?
Yeah, and I mean, just to confirm, 5-day work week was introduced for the civil service in 2004 in Singapore.
Okay.
Yeah, but maybe army.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, so 2004 was when I was in the army.
I was out in the army already.
Then what you said when you were a child, your mom went from 5.5 days to 5 days.
So maybe I fucked up my
distorted memory lah. Fuck lah, Terrence.
Maybe my childhood felt like longer until I was 25 or something. Then I'm thinking, I was a kid playing with Transformers.
Yeah,
no,
but
man.
your mind was like, dude, you're a grown man. Your mom's
grown
mind was like, what the hell is childhood? 2004 lah, dude.
Oh, 2004. Okay,
2004.
Okay. So that means I went through army. Yeah, Saturdays were still a thing. Yeah, that's right. They were.
So,
correct.
but I remember before this podcast, you were saying like something about how like will it really change?
Yeah. So, but you know about teachers, lah, right? And I think it applies equally for even teachers in primary school and secondary school as well. They have a lot of prep work they need to do before and after class as well. Do you think that, them not having to work on Saturdays will necessarily, allow them to achieve better work-life balance? Or will it just mean that they have to stay later on weekdays to get shit done?
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. Just because if there's another half day, means you probably have more of that work to do after that as well, and you have less time. Because if it's marking, if it's prep, you still need to prepare for the Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And now as you get older, weekends become more and more precious.
Yeah.
You realize that even a 3-hour block that's taken away is it ruins a lot of. Not say it ruins. It influences everything else.
Yeah. Correct,
correct. So this block, not having to wake up early, I think is a huge thing. I think it's a huge thing. And I can imagine also people, maybe they were on the fence about becoming early educated. This is another thing like makes them go,
yeah.
Okay, finally it's caught up to other industries.
Yeah. And then just the recognition that the teachers, have a very heavy workload and do need time away. I think that's good. And of course there are people who are saying, hey, but how about those parents who unfortunately both have to work shift jobs and things like that? What do you think about that?
So that was what I found surprising. They surveyed 8,000 parents and 98% said they don't need. I would have thought that in this day and age, there might be some parents who would appreciate more childcare services being available even through the weekend.
Yeah.
Because I know, I'm sure everyone knows friends with kids where weekends maybe their parents are still able to, their grandparents are supposed to be able to help, so the parents would pass it off to their parents to look after their kids.
Yeah.
So you still have that time off. Also, bearing in mind that not everyone has that luxury, I would have thought childcare services some parents would be like, hey, we need this. Why are you taking it away? You want to talk about work-life balance, sure, for the educator, but what about us?
Yeah. But that's why I think that there are private services available, whether it's for informal babysitters or, essentially, you don't have to go to a school per se. Because I think going to a school, it comes with having to, keep a school open, having to, switch on the lights, keep the place running and all that. So it's more than just having one person around to take care of a kid, right? So that's where I think they're sort of saying, okay, it's kind of your pasa to go and figure out how to do it on a Saturday. but it should not be that. The expectation should not be for the schools to have to do it for you lah.
Unless they have a different set of teachers for this weekend thing. So they offer the whole weekend.
Yeah, and they're paid more to do it lah.
So speaking of pay, like I hope it's not the case where because they're going from 5.5 to 5 day, they also reduce the pay of the educators.
Yeah. Cannot lah. Yeah.
Because then it'll be like, yo man, it's not our choice.
Yeah, exactly. You know? Yeah. So I'm hoping, I do hope that it goes in that direction that we're talking about, where there's a recognition that we need to also take care of our employees, our teachers and all. Because the surprising thing that over the last year or two that I've been using this early childhood care is that it's under the preview of the Early Childhood Development Agency and not under MOE. So there's a lot less standardization of like things in the schools and curriculums and things like that lah. So for better or worse lah, some people prefer a bit more. They get to choose what preschools they go and tailor everything a bit more specifically. But at the same time, there were the things that I guess benefits that are afforded to teachers in MOE don't trickle down to those in the early childhood development space. No?
I see.
The protections, the benefits, the learnings and all that. Yeah. So there's a lot more of a wild west when it comes to how different schools treat their teachers.
Yeah, it sounds like early childhood education or childhood education is just a fucking Pandora's box.
Yeah.
That is so tough to navigate, so competitive.
Yeah.
And maybe if I have a kid, I just bring him to Ubin and just make him like live in the jungle.
Even Ubin also probably has his own childcare.
Yeah,
you probably have to pay premium for some green camp or some like outdoor learning thing.
Yeah,
in Ubin.
right.
Yeah. Where your child gets to take a boat ride every morning to get to school. And subsequently after that, gets hands-on play in the mud and everything.
Oh my God. Yeah. But, so I mean, it's not impacting you in any way, right?
No, yeah. So I'm one of those parents that I'll be at 98% that no way that I would need that. Because, the weekends also for me, I would want to spend it with family.
So then would you expect your monthly fees for the kid to go down?
No. I think we pay for 5 days a week.
Oh, we pay for 5 days.
Yeah.
Then this Saturday thing is what? Is as of now it's a sign on. You can choose.
I think it depends on the school. I guess because there are schools that are like, oh, if you want to pick up your kid at like 7 p.m. or like after 6 p.m, you have to pay a little bit more.
Oh.
Or if you want to do half day, you can pick up your kid at like 2 p.m. or 3 p.m, you pay a bit less, that kind of thing. So it's kind of, you get to choose, and every school is different. So it really depends on the school. The places that I've looked at, I don't recall there being like a Saturday option, or at least it wasn't offered to me that way, right? So I don't know about it, but I'm guessing that those that offer it, you probably have to pay some kind of premium for it.
Can you do like ad hoc on the day itself? I really don't want to do my kid. Can I pick him up at 6 o'clock? You cannot through an app or something. Just like parking app. Fuck lah. I'm just had a bad day at work. Okay, kid, pick you up at 7.
Doesn't work that way lah.
Oh, it doesn't.
Unfortunately. So no, not unfortunately, but I think the expectations that you don't cut it close, or don't like, oh, I'm sorry, I got work, that kind of thing.
Because I'm assuming the educators are not compensated if they have to stay late also lah, right?
It's not. I mean, of course, unless it's like you got in a car accident or something like that, then I think it's different, right? But if it's just because you don't feel like taking care of your kid, then this is a very bad form to do that, and the school has the great thing is that the school has the right to just say, okay, we can't take care of your kid anymore because of your timings and all that lah.
Oh.
Maybe that's a good thing about not being as regulated as like primary and secondary schools.
It's wild west lah.
They get to sort of pick and choose their clients as well. Although most of the time they don't, but I think there have been instances of like a few bad apples like that. Yeah. But good step lah. Good step overall. I think we both see it as a good step lah, right?
Yeah, I think it's a good step.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
But yes.
All right.
Wow.
Shall we jump into the one Shiok comment of the week?
Yes, please. And what is your one Shiok comment, man?
One Shiok comment was something posted on our Reddit by I think a new commenter, Equivalent Suspect 353.
Okay.
It is just a screenshot from a post on another subreddit. Oh no, another Telegram chat called Paise Questions.
Yeah.
And the question was, how do you clean your butt after pooping? And I think previously we had paper versus bidet poll on Reddit. But this one goes into a lot of detail, like paper only, water with hands, without paper, water with hands, with paper. I don't. Paper only, water with hands, without paper, water with hands, with paper.
Yeah.
Like, and I guess the main winner was water with hands, with paper. At 20%. Oh, no, sorry. Also for men and women, even for women, 21% water with hands, with paper.
Yeah.
Men, 20% water with hands, with paper. So that was the... So, I mean, I guess bidet friendly, followed by paper. So it worked hand in hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, maybe I went into too much detail for that, but it was just a funny poll.
Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
Interesting discussion. My one Shiok comment is from the comments on our podcast about the Speaker of Parliament caught using vulgarities and Singapore excels at quiet quitting. Where I think it's pretty interesting that I think people are really the good thing is that all that happened is that people are talking about James Lim's speech in Parliament. And I think a comment on our Reddit by edu-is is really though, I don't get James's argument for setting an official poverty line. How would it help? Wouldn't it be much better debate on the qualifying criteria for the various social assistance policies? If anything, setting such a line would cause more divisions as people earning below the poverty line suddenly feel poor and unhappy. Moreover, the level he suggested it to be set as high as 6.4k. In that case, almost all entry-level jobs will put you under the poverty line. So yeah, it's I'm glad to see that people, because of if anything, that whole fucking populist thing has also made people re-examine James Lim's speech, me included. And that people are coming on our Reddit to also talk about it. Hasn't got any responses, but I would love to hear what other people also think about it.
There was -2 votes.
What's that mean though?
I guess 2 people put a dislike button.
Dislike, yeah.
Dislike a -2.
But rather than just disliking it, I also hope people can, engage with it.
Just like, this is nonsense. Yeah. And then why? I don't know. But this is nonsense. Okay, I see. Interesting.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yes. And what is your one Shiok thing?
My one Shiok thing, I don't think it has been my one Shiok thing. Maybe it's been your one Shiok thing, but I think I've finally been sold fully on House of the Dragon. Yeah.
Finally. What happened?
Finally, man.
Was the incest scene or
no, it was way past the incest scene. The incest theme is there.
Okay.
Then there was the jerking off in plain sight.
Jerking off in plain sight. I don't remember that.
Yeah,
already.
got.
Okay.
And so for the longest time, like what I loved about Game of Thrones is there was a lot of war and fights and politics and all.
Yeah.
And for the longest time, House of the Dragon just felt like a fucked up family having family problems.
Yeah.
But finally, in the final 2 episodes, and I know Tristen gave me a heads up that the final 2 episodes is when things go to crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay lah. At least the payoff is there lah.
Yeah.
The payoff is there. Up till even episode 7, I was like, okay, it's interesting, it's good, but I'm not blown away. But now I'm like, oh, okay, this is setting up for some wild times lah.
Some epic stuff.
Yeah,
so you finished it already?
No, I got 1 episode left.
Like 1 episode left. Are you savoring it for later or what?
No. Probably this weekend I'll finish it.
This weekend?
Yeah. And I'm deciding which is my next show to move on to. I just heard that Last of Us got 24 nominations.
So you haven't seen Last of Us?
No, I haven't seen. I mean, this House of the Dragon was the first show I'm watching on HBO. So I probably will do Last of Us after this.
Last of Us, okay.
Or Succession.
I'll
finish Barry season 4. Or fucking Ted Lasso. Holy shit, yeah.
If it was up to me to recommend, I mean, I haven't seen Ted Lasso right? Yeah.
Coming off the back of the House of the Dragon, because it's Witcher 3 also.
Correct. Coming off the back of House of the Dragon, you're very into that politics, family.
I mean,
thing.
I don't know what I'm into. I think I might need a breather.
Okay, so you don't want to deal with family stuff. Okay, then skip Succession first. Save Succession for when you have time to go and do a lot of self-examination to your family, family stuff. Yeah. And then what are the other options?
Barry season 4, Witcher season 3, Last of Us.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, you could go into Last of Us for a while. Last of Us is your brain doesn't need to go that deep into.
It's just one
all that.
season, right?
It's just one season. Yeah.
Okay.
And it goes at a different pace from
House of the Dragon.
House of the Dragon
was after. I'm like, just can you hurry up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Very, very different pace, lah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I will go for that, lah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. And you?
My one Shiok thing is I don't know if was it a one Shiok thing that I came up with previously, but the latest season of Black Mirror.
Maybe, but yeah.
Was out. I don't know. I might have mentioned it before, lah, right? But just I've only seen the first episode, lah, and I've heard mixed reviews about the season. But the first episode itself I was already like mind blown already, lah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. In the sense that because I remember that what's his name, Charlie Adams or something. Is it the creator of Black Mirror? Anyway, the British guy created Black Mirror. He said that once COVID and everything came about, like he felt like they couldn't do Black Mirror anymore, because it's like the world itself was already so dystopian, so depressing. All that, what could they possibly do to make a show about a dystopian future even relevant again? And after watching the first episode, then I'm like, oh, okay. There are still things, there's still things that we can be a bit afraid of about our future. Yeah. So I'm very glad that he managed to, overcome that hurdle.
This is season what?
6, wasn't it? Or something? Yeah,
and it's Charlie Brooker.
Charlie Brooker, yes.
Charlie Brooker.
So yeah, interesting, to say the least. I when I've mentioned it, also people are like, oh, I didn't like that. But I'm like, okay, it's, I think... because the good thing about Black Mirror is that not every episode is different, right?
Yeah, it's a standalone.
Yeah, and episode 1 already has like a big name in it, like
Salma Hayek.
Yeah, so it's quite it's interesting, to say the least.
Yes. Cool, man.
But if that's actually a one Shiok thing that I've come up with before, which I
think you have.
I have. No, maybe I mentioned it, but at that time maybe I haven't even watched it yet. I just mentioned that. But now that I watched it, I'm like, okay, it's worth it, to get into it. Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yes. Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. And we'll talk to y'all soon.